Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Close to 170 teachers have left the education system since July. Family in mourning following fatal crash in Clarendon. And later in sports, West Indies lose fourth straight one-day international series following 2-1 loss to New Zealand. I'm Herman Green. Here are the details. Education Minister Favour Williams has announced several measures to help deal with the shortage of teachers for the new school term. The ministry says 964 teachers will be available to fill specialist subject areas. The areas include mathematics, accounts, chemistry, science, early childhood, English, physical education, and primary education. Now, the minister says Jamaica is also prepared to recruit Cuban teachers as part of its bilateral agreement with the country. Minister Williams revealed that since July, 167 teachers have resigned, but she said that number could increase before the school year starts on September 5. The minister made the announcements at a press briefing a short while ago. And we will have more on this story in primetime news at 7. Now, one man is dead following a motor vehicle crash in Clarendon this morning. 4 other people who were also in the 2 units involved in the crash escaped serious injuries. More in this report from Codian Barrett.
Tragedy along the Four Paths Main Road in Clarendon. James Davis, a 54-year-old driver from Prospect Drive in the parish, died around 4 a.m. when the Toyota Coaster bus he was driving slammed into a truck. Family members of the deceased who visited the scene held arms as they tried to comfort each other.
I received a call from a bus driver that he asked me if I heard anything, and I said to him, "What you mean?" And he said, "Who is printed to you?" And I said to him that my uncle, he said, "Don't know how to tell me this." He said, he crashed and dead.
And even as investigators processed the scene to determine what happened, friends of the deceased were angry, noting speeding was involved.
One of them will overtake signal, take away from the one man say, take away from the. And when the one where on the inside, lick over, print over this one.
Him just made eating breakfast in the home and sleep all day. When I come, Mr. Driver, what happened, Mr. Printer that sleep, Mr. Liar telling can't sleep. And he just talked to me and they home all day stay arrest.
2 other passengers who were in the coaster bus at the time of the crash were not seriously injured, while the driver of the truck and his passenger sustained minor injuries. We understand the driver of the truck has been questioned by the police in relation to the crash. Emergency crews removed the deceased from the mangled wreck, and the police eventually restored the smooth flow of traffic to the usually busy thoroughfare that links Manchester to Clarendon. Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
And the police say they are ramping up efforts to ensure the safety of students. As Sandy Williams reports, the police commissioner has indicated that security plans for the new school year are underway.
Last school term saw several violent incidents among students at different institutions following their return to classes after almost 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And with approximately 2 weeks to go before the start of the new academic year, there are concerns there could be similar attacks. It's why Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has been meeting with police commanders across the island to discuss security plans for the new school year. Commissioner Anderson said the Police High Command will be implementing measures to protect students, especially those who have to attend classes in troubled communities.
We have not had a school reopening since 2019 in the true sense of what back to school means. So the entire force is gearing up towards that, particularly those that have large urban areas in them. So that's part of the work that's being done. In St. James, they just relaunched a public order initiative, and that has been going very well so far. And you'll see more activities like this taking place across the country as we gear up, not only for back to school, but towards the end of the year.
Meanwhile, the police commissioner lauded the leadership of the St. Catharines South Police Division over its efforts to remove illegal guns from the division. The division recovered 48 illegal guns since January, placing it in the top 2 among the police divisions in the country.
They're doing well in that regard. But beyond that, and the hard policing, they're also doing a lot of community work, which is important. And you know, when you do the community work right, then it impacts everything else that you do. The division has clear plans, and they're rolling them out very successfully. So I expect between now and the end of the year that we'll see even more successes.
Major General Anthony Anderson was speaking at a St. Catherine South Police Division meeting over the weekend. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
Lston High School in Clarendon, which falls in the Manchester Police Division, received a facelift on Friday. The work is an extension of the crime-fighting collaboration between the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defence Force. More from Cody Barrett.
With the reopening of schools just 2 weeks away, the police and school administrators worked quickly, repainting, repairing and extending a perimeter fence. The work is a part of the collaborative effort to fight crime at the root by making learning environments more embracive. Lston High School's Dean of Discipline, Andre Wellington, pointed to security issues the new perimeter fence will address.
We do have students who scale the perimeter fencing, and we are trying to prevent that, and we are also trying to prevent outsiders from scaling the perimeter fencing. So it's a security issue, and we're trying to rectify that before the start of the new school year.
Major Andres Pears of the JDF also spoke about the ongoing collaboration with the police force.
Collaboration thus far between the JDF and the JCF is going pretty well. I think our efforts have been very forceful and deliberate within Clarendon and Manchester. If you look at the statistics, we're really in a good place now. We're trying to keep it that way. And the effort continues.
In the meantime, Inspector Shernet Griffiths, in charge of the Spalding Police Division, is appealing to students to treat the school with care.
When you get to school, please protect what you are seeing on the facing of the school walls. It's such a wonderful initiative with Major Pierce and us and doing this for you. So when you protect it, then others that are coming, they will be a part of it also.
Cody Barrett for TVJ News.
The Andrew Holness-led administration is again facing criticism for their handling of crime. At a recent PNP rally in Manchester, MP for Manchester Northwestern, Michael Phillips, sought to highlight what he said is the lack of progress in establishing a partnership between the two major political parties, something he blames on the government.
This week, a young farmer catch two man a thief, him go at them. Carry them to court, judge throw it out. And 2 weeks after his 10 gunshot, he got in his bed, 8 lick him, and kill him. And all we can hear is that he wants consensus.
He also accused the Prime Minister of playing politics with infrastructure and suggested that a dedicated fund for infrastructure be set up.
When him have only $4 billion in the budget to deal with road maintenance, when the CEO of the National Works Agency say he want $1 trillion, you see the disparity. Because this never happened under PNP administration ever.
Figurative battle lines are being drawn over the decision to close the Riverton dump. The facility is to be decommissioned in the near future, and residents who are usually affected by fires and stench from the facility say they are in favor of the facility being closed. We have more in this report.
Residents of Washington Gardens and its environs are intensifying calls for the Riverton dump to be closed. This after Prime Minister Andrew Holness told Jamaicans that plans are in place to decommission the disposal facility. But stakeholders say closing the site could bring another problem.
It is a question of planning as well as a question of political will. I'm happy to hear that the plan is now to close it. But I would still ask, where are we going to dispose of our garbage? Is it going to be a new sanitary landfill or a new dump that we're going to have?
Environment and developmental scientist Reverend Peter Esprit believes any plans to improve landfills across the country should consider how they can help reduce the cost of energy in Jamaica.
Because an investor had said they would work with Jamaica's garbage to convert it into a money-making business. There was also the question of waste to energy. You would convert it into plasma, which is a highly, very hot mixture, which can be used to generate electricity.
Dennis Chung is the chairman of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, and he says plans are in place to not only remove the dump, but also create jobs for the people who might have depended on the facility.
Where it is now is actually as far as it has ever been, and I think where it is now is the greatest demonstration of any will to get it done. And based on where they are and the work that they have done on it already, I'm pretty confident that if they follow through based on the interest that I've seen, that we'll get there.
Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
The police in St. James will be shifting significant traffic personnel to areas around the Howard Cook Bridge, which is now being repaired. Dwayne Anderson explains.
Road closed. A simple sign that is expected to carry so many implications for commuters in Montego Bay St. James, especially those who use the Howard Cook Bridge. The northbound leg of the bridge was closed for repair works on August 17, a job that is expected to take 6 weeks to complete. Workmen have been seen operating in the area while traffic flowed smoothly for the most part. But as we were told, the real challenges will come between Mondays and Saturdays when commercial activities are at the highest.
In the past, there have been circumstances where the bridge has dropped and a more permanent solution is being done at this time. So we are appealing to the motoring public to just have patience, obey.
The authorities also accept that bigger traffic congestion challenges are ahead as the work is expected to coincide with the back-to-school period.
We have 2 weeks to really fine-tune what is happening here. So we intend to, over the next 2 weeks, get everything running smoothly.
People, especially those traveling to the Sangster International Airport, are being advised to adjust their plans to arrive at their destinations on time. Motorists should also obey traffic signs and directions of the police and flagmen.
We have diverted the traffic from that area through to Harbour Street and coming out on Jimmy Cliff Boulevard or Queens Drive in order to ensure that persons are able to traverse the township easily. There are some alternative routes that will be posted on the JCF and the NWA website that will be able to bring you around the town or through the town, which we want to try as best as possible to give the motoring public some options to avoid the delays that may occur.
Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
We go now to news on the economy. Here is Codian Barrett with the Business Minute.
The company's Office of Jamaica, COJ, is reporting that close to 3,000 entities took advantage of its COVID-19 compliance relief initiative during the initial period from May 2020 to March 2022. The support program was launched to assist businesses hit hard by the pandemic to formally close without paying the full fees associated with filing closure notices. Due to overwhelming requests for an extension, the support program was relaunched on August 1 this year and will now run for another 6 months until January 31, 2023. Bank of Jamaica officials expect the construction and housing sector to be negatively affected by rising mortgage rates, but say there is no fallout yet. This amid rising housing prices, valuations, higher levels of inflation, and record low loan rates up to last year. Despite concerns from central bankers on the looming fallout in the housing market, the BOJ says it is not a strong enough reason to pause the hikes in its policy rate. On Friday, the BOJ adjusted its benchmark interest rate by half a point, moving it from 5.5% to 6%.
Meanwhile, China's central bank is cutting its benchmark interest rate for mortgages yet again as it tries to stem a worsening property crisis. The People's Bank of China announced on Monday that it would cut its 5-year loan prime rate from 4.45% to 4.3%. It also slashed its 1-year loan prime rate from 3.7% to 3.65%. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
Thanks, Cody. And it's time now for the top regional and international reports.
In regional news, New York City Mayor Eric Adams has announced a comprehensive plan to support Caribbean and other families seeking asylum. The mayor said the plan, dubbed Open Arms, ensures children are provided with full range of services to start their New York City public education on the first day of school next month. The city estimates that about 6,000 asylum seekers, including Caribbean nationals, have gone through the intake process in the last 3 months. On the international scene, critics say the U.S. is playing catching up as monkeypox spreads and affects more people. The White House says it has already distributed about 1 million vaccine doses and has an agreement to get more than 5 million more vials. Officials say parents shouldn't worry about their kids at school, but some college students say they are taking notice. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And that's the Midday Package. I'm Herman Green. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching. We have primetime news at 7. You don't want to miss it.